I'm going to show you how to add text to a document using Photoshop. The first thing you want to do is click on your text tool. It's the little T over here in the toolbar. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to click anywhere in my canvas. If I click once, it's going to open up the text, and you can see that I have all of these different options up at the top. I have the directional text, so I can change whether it's going horizontally or vertically. I have the font, so I can change my font to anything I would like. I can check and change to make it bold or italic if my font will allow that. I can change the size of the font. I can change the sharpness or the smoothness. I can change the alignment of the text for left, center, or right. I can change the color of the text, and I can do some other things. So let's start by typing something. I typed the word Linfield, and I'm going to move it so I can see it just by clicking and dragging. Alright, so now that I have my text typed, I can highlight it. And when I highlight it, just like in a Word document, I can change the size. If I wanted something bigger than 72, I can actually type it in. So before I had 125, and that seemed to work pretty well. I can change the color to anything I want just by double clicking. I can also do something cool. If I click on this little T with the arc underneath and I go into Style, I can actually change the distribution of my text to make it feel like it's going vertically or horizontally. I can change the text so it feels like it's twisting. I can change it so I feel like the perspective is off. So I can do lots of different things. I'm going to hit cancel because I didn't want to apply any of those techniques. The next thing I'm going to do is show you how to do some text effects within this text. So once I have my text typed, I have the color right, I have the font right, and the size, I can actually go into this little text effects box. But in order to do that, I actually have to get out of my text tool. So I'm going to click on my move tool. I'm going to make sure that I'm clicked on my text layer instead of my background layer, and I'm going to go into this little FX box. This is allowing me to add a text effect to the text that I've already typed. I'm going to do a drop shadow because that's one that you guys might be interested in doing. When I click drop shadow, you're going to see that it's automatically applying a drop shadow to my text. It's almost as if somebody's holding a flashlight above the text and that the text is 3D and it's creating this shadow. I can change the angle of the shadow. I can change the distance that the shadow is away from my actual letters. I can change how big the shadow appears by changing the spread. I can also change the size of the shadow and the softness of the edge. If I change the angle, I'm also changing the light source. So for example, if I have the angle at 143, it appears that the light is coming from the top left-hand corner of my document. If I change the angle to a -32, it appears like the light is coming from the bottom right of my document. So this is how you would add a shadow. There are tons of other things we could do. We can do a bevel. I'll take away my shadow so you can see, but we can add a bevel to the text so it appears that there's this hard edge. We can add a stroke to the text so it's outlined. We can add a gradient to the top so it fades. We can add a color to the top. We can add texture. There are tons of different things we can do. And I can also bring my drop shadow back. Alright, let's say that I have my text the way I want it. When I hit OK, it's going to open up all of these different text effects and attach them to my layer. The cool thing about this is just like doing an adjustment layer using the black and white cookie, I can go back in and change any of these. So if I wanted to get rid of my drop shadow, I can just hide it. If I wanted to get rid of the bevel, I can hide it. If I wanted to get rid of the gradient or the stroke or the color, I can get rid of all of those things. I can also bring them back, and if I wanted to change anything, all I would have to do is double click, and it's going to reopen up my layer style window for me to change anything I would like. There's lots of different things we can do, but that is the basic information about adding text to a document in Photoshop.